Welcome guys to Get Massive Social Reach. I'm Gabriella, and in this video I am going to reveal to you what you can expect when you purchase Get Massive Social Reach. Now, this course is actually changed. It's actually version 2.0, so it's been modified from its original. Now, there's a ton of great content in here, but I have to say I did organize it much better than the original version. So now, first, definitely, there are a few phases when it comes to mastering, or I want to say mastering, but dominating Facebook reach. And really, if it comes down to two things, if you had to really just break it down, really mastering engagement comes down to pretty much two things: understanding your demographics and just really knowing how to read the stats, if you were to ask me. But then again, certain things come easier than to others than to some. And so I figured I'd basically break this down into 3 different phases so it'd be easier for you guys to actually follow through and to kind of be able to easily pick up on how to understand your audience in a we'll just say it a very simple way. So I've created this now. In phase 1, there's actually 5 steps. And at the end of these, basically phase 1, you'll be able to easily recognize what factors of engagement will give you 10 times more reach, because isn't that the whole purpose, right? You're here to basically learn how to get more reach and basically get more likes as well. So in step 1, very simple. Section 1 is basically a short introduction about what you can expect with Get Massive Social Reach. And lesson 2 is all about setting your goals. And I do recommend that you do go through your goal settings, because it is really critical to really setting your expectations and really just kind of benchmarking and seeing how you progress. So do set your goals. And lesson 3 is basically everything that you'll need for this course going forward. Step 2 is pretty much, before we can actually delve into understanding audience and engagement, we have to basically get rid of some of the clutter, some of the stuff that some of you people may have misconceptions about. So step 2 is all about debunking that, Facebook page like myth, along with some other myths. So before we can actually delve into it, let's debunk those myths first. Step 3 is basically all about the factors of engagement, okay? Now remember, before we can actually get into creating content, because remember, right, a lot of you guys are here because you're creating content and it's not getting any engagement, right? Well, there's a good reason for that. And the reason for that is because you're not understanding, well, there isn't a very clear indicator as to what it is exactly that helps with getting more reach. So once you actually understand what factors go into getting more reach, you'll be able to easily recognize how you can actually pick from good pages, bad pages, good posts, bad posts. So believe me, once you master that, you'll be able to look at any page and be able to say, okay, good post, bad post. Super, super simple. So once you'll be able to actually master that, you'll go on to basically step 4, which is basically mastering the insights. So Facebook Insights there's 2 types of insights, right? You have your Facebook Insights for your stats, and then you have your audience insights. So remember, this is all about stats, okay? Because there's no point in making an assumption. And this is where most people go wrong with their Facebook pages, is they're making too many assumptions. And that's terrible, because the stats are in front of you. You're just basically not looking at them. So I go into basically breaking everything down, understanding those stats, so that you do know how to basically optimize your reach going forward. So when you look at your stats, hey, this is off. I need to do this, this, and that. So this will definitely help you with that. So step 4 is definitely critical. And step 5 is basically your Maverick benchmark analysis. Now, anyone who took the first training will know that the Maverick benchmark analysis was a little confusing. So I did definitely make this a little bit easier for you guys. I think I brought it down from like 45 minutes to something like 10 minutes that you can easily do this now. So this is much easier for you guys. And again, I go through a lot of these exercises for you guys to get used to looking at your stats and pulling your stats and looking at the data. So, and the Maverick benchmark analysis does a great job at that, because it kind of forces you to look at certain things. And once you start looking, hopefully you'll start getting, you'll get a little bit more curious, and maybe you'll start asking a little bit more questions. And that's really what I want you guys to do, is the more questions you ask, the more issues will come up, and the easier it will be to actually troubleshoot. So once you master phase 1, you can go on to basically phase 2. Now, phase 2 is comprised of 3 steps. And at the end of phase 2, you'll be able to know how to create engaging content that is just right for your audience. Because remember, okay, you can't get to phase 2 without going through phase 1 first. And that is the most critical aspect, okay? Because remember, if you don't know, because right now, I'm sure a lot of you guys, okay, are creating content, posting stuff, and getting, you're listening to crickets. So that's exactly what we're trying to avoid. So in phase 2 now you can tackle phase 2 once you actually understand your audience. And step 6 is all about creating that content. Okay, creating that content, how to actually pull, how to basically pull great, amazing headlines. And at the same time too, I actually show you how I created a video that got over 10 million views and 30 million reach. And I created it from scratch. So again, it's super easy to do, but you can only do it once you understand your audience, which is critical, super, super critical. Step 7 is all about targeting interests. Now, targeting interests is basically, we're going to be looking at basically preferred audiences. And this is really for the advanced users, because if you do not know or understand your audience, I do not recommend that you even go forward with this, because it can either make or break you, and you need to know the difference between the two. Then we go on to step 8. Step 8 is all about basically third-party branding. Third-party branding and actually cross-posting, which is something new that Facebook actually did reveal the past couple of weeks as well. So this is basically how you can basically share some third-party content, and the benefits to using third-party content, and I basically go into that. So this is still part of content. It's a little bit more advanced, but at least it'll give you a little bit more options when you're trying to pull content. So just keep that in mind. So once you master phase 2, then you can go on to phase 3. Phase 3 is more of a bonus section. Phase 1 is the most critical aspect. Phase 2 is all about the creating content. Phase 3 is the bonus. Bonus basically here is you get 2 bonuses. At the end of phase 3, you'll know how you can pay less than a fraction of a penny clicks. Because remember, one of the major benefits to mastering and dominating organic reach is being able to pay a fraction of a penny clicks. And basically step 7 is all about boosting posts and how you can pay that fraction of a penny. Basically, you see how I only spent $313 in total for this entire case study over the past 18 months. I think I even show you that there was only, about 100,000 reach in total. So, and I paid $312 in total for 150,000 reach. And if you look at the cumulative reach over the past 18 months, it's in the hundreds of millions. So I'm telling you, I've spent less than 1% on this actual case study page, and you can basically see how you can capitalize on that. So remember, that is the beauty part of mastering organic reach. And step 7 is basically, you'll see here, once again, you'll see how I basically got an Insta Boost. But remember, you can only get an Insta Boost once you actually understand your audience. Okay, so basically I show you tips of, okay, when your Facebook reach suddenly drops, what you need to do in order to get that back up. And you can only do that once you actually understand your audience. And you'll understand that a little bit more when you actually go through the videos. So that's it. So this is exactly what you can expect with Get Massive Social Reach. 3 phases, super simple. Phase 1 is all about understanding that audience and understanding the actual statistics. Phase 2 is all about creating that actual content. And then phase 3 is the bonuses. So I welcome you guys, and any questions or concerns, just email me at Gabriella@acemaverickmedia.com. Thanks so much, guys.